OpenAI just launched its new image generation model, GPT Image 1.5, and that is supposed to compete with Google's Nano Banana Pro, which is kind of the best at this particular point. This model has scored a lot of good marks on benchmarks, but we are not going to talk about benchmarks, understand the model, and see a couple of samples how the model is doing good. This is not GPT Image 2, so they're not calling it as a next version. They're trying to say that this is GPT Image 1.5, and this is an increment. In fact, for that matter, they've also specifically highlighted some improvements and limitations. I think this has been forced upon them because of Nano Banana Pro and how good Nano Banana Pro is. Now, if we just leave Nano Banana Pro for some time and then look at GPT Image 1.5 as a standalone image generation model and also image edit model, let us see how good it is. If you simply look at the example that OpenAI has given, so here you can upload 3 images. One, this is Mark Shen, who is like the chief research officer, I guess. And then you've got Jacob and a dog. So you can see combined the two men and the dog in a 2000s camera style photo of them looking bored at a kid's birthday party. And then you can see that it is pretty good having the face consistency. So you didn't make any changes there. And also you can see that this model is pretty good with the text rendering. So you can see here a happy birthday, the fonts are not misplaced, the fonts are not ugly. So it is doing a pretty good job with the font. In fact, there are other things that you can try to note, like for example, the fingers are quite good here, and the faces, the eye. There are certain giveaways you can probably try to, when you go dig deeper, you can probably see. For example, the left eye here or the right eye here is slightly, not so perfect. One another very interesting aspect of this is if you see this particular model, contributors, Aditya Ramesh, who was at the head of OpenAI image generation program DALI, is now the world simulation lead. So I'm not sure if this is anyways going to go lead into world models. But for now, this model is doing a pretty good job of taking an image prompt and then creating an image. There are a couple of styles. This model is doing a pretty good job here. So you can see here, you can upload an image and then ask it to design it to a particular style. You can upload the image and then do a virtual try-on. And then you can do like play dress up. You can do painting. You can do advertisement. Like for example, you can have the image uploaded and then give a particular style and the model is going to do. And once again, you might notice one thing is that the model is very good with typography. So it can add different fonts and different styles and then keep it very consistent. Another thing that the model is extremely good at is extremely good at copying styles. So whatever style you have got, you can copy the style and then use it. And the model enables it. The model takes that thing very good. The model is also like Nano Banana Pro. The model is also very good with drawing grids. But in my testing, I found out that sometimes it doesn't follow the grid number that you are giving very diligently. So there are instances where I wanted like 6x6 grid, but the model ended up giving me like a 7x4. So the model is not exactly consistent in following the grid. So now I'm going to leave this here and then go back to my own testing and then show you a couple of examples about how I felt about this particular model. The model is also cheaper than the previous version of the model. So technically, OpenAI has launched a new model that is better image generation, that is better in prompt adherence, that better in style transfer, but cheaper than the predecessor. One interesting test where these image generation models usually fail is creating an analog clock. Even Nano Banana Pro is not very good with this. And you can see here for a prompt that says create a square image of the following: a hand with 7 fingers, because most of these models are trained in real-world data. So even if you ask for extra fingers, they always give you 5 fingers. A wall clock showing 822. Most of these models use images from internet, and most of the clocks on internet are 1010. And finally, a glass of red wine full to the top. So these are like certain elements that generally image models don't do very well. But you can see here this model, even though it is not exactly perfect, like for example, you can see the time here, it's kind of messing up with the clock tick, the handle, but still it is doing a much better job than Nano Banana Pro. One thing also you might notice is that I don't know what they did with the training, especially for prompts like this. You might find the image like as if like somebody's learning Photoshop and then picked 3 different objects and then put it together, while Nano Banana is like more natural. I still like, for me personally, I still like Nano Banana. You ask me today, day 0 of the model being launched, is it going to beat Nano Banana Pro? Because we are seeing benchmarks where this model is being ranked much higher than Nano Banana Pro. I don't have an answer, and I don't think at this particular point I would put this model above Nano Banana Pro. But again, Nano Banana Pro is not the one-stop solution for everything. And like I said, this model is good with typography. This model is good with infographics. A lot of other elements we have to explore and then see how the model is doing. But for now, if you want the second best model, OpenAI is not far away in the competition. And GPT Image 1.5 that you can access through API, you can also access through file because it's very easy to access that. Or you can access through ChatGPT, where they're creating like a whole new environment for you to upload images and then do things. And let me know what you think about this particular model.